Hello, this is Internet Television International. I am Rachel Uwa, and here is what's making the news in Nigeria's national dailies. The headline in most of our national dailies has to do with the surprise return of former Vice Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of Intercontinental Bank PLC, Dr. Erastus Akingbola, to answer questions and allegations leveled against him by the Central Bank of Nigeria and the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. Vanguard newspaper puts it this way: Akingbola returns, reports to EFCC today. This day, Akingbola returns, may report to EFCC today. Punch: EFCC launches fresh manhunt as Akingbola returns. Next newspaper: Akingbola returns to Nigeria. Daily Trust: Akingbola beats security. In Guardian newspaper: Akingbola returns, goes to EFCC today. Our national dailies also report that the National Assembly will on Tuesday next week break their vacation to hold an impromptu plenary session to consider the 74 billion naira request of the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Atahiru Jega, and screen 3 additional ministerial nominees. On this story, This Day has the caption, 2011, Jonathan seeks 89.6 billion naira for INEC, with the rider nominates 3 new ministers. From next newspaper, National Assembly reconvenes for INEC 74 billion naira. Daily Trust: Senate reconvenes Tuesday over 74 billion naira INEC funds. Punch: 74 billion naira voter register. National Assembly to hold emergency session on Tuesday. This Day newspaper: Anti-Graft agency can investigate state finances, court rules. A major constitutional question was resolved yesterday when Justice Muhammad Idris of the Federal High Court in Lagos reaffirmed the power of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, to investigate the finances of states with the intent to prosecute corrupt officials. From Punch newspaper comes the story: Bayelsa violence continues as gunmen attack home of Jonathan's associate. The violence in Bayelsa State communities continued on Tuesday as gunmen attacked the country home of a traditional ruler and a close associate of President Goodluck Jonathan, King Amalete Turner. Vanguard newspaper: Government allays fears over third mainland bridge. Lagos State government has described as false rumor that the third mainland bridge was unsafe and would soon collapse. From next newspaper comes the story: Yerima to face prosecution. The paper reports that government may be forced to prosecute Senator Sani Yerima as recommended by the report now before the Justice Minister. And in politics, Delhi Independent newspaper: Diaspora Nigerians can't vote in 2011, INEC. Atahiru Jega repeated on Tuesday that Nigerians in the diaspora cannot vote in the election next year, but their expertise will be handy for the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. From This Day newspaper: thugs attack Adamawa Assembly over Speaker Deputy's removal. From Punch newspaper: 2011 DPP faults INEC's plan to use biometric data. The Democratic People's Party has faulted plans by the Independent National Electoral Commission to use the biometric data of the electorate, saying it would not guarantee free, fair and credible elections in 2011. Punch newspaper: 2011 elections, law raises presidential candidates' expenses to 1 billion naira. The paper reports that presidential candidates in the forthcoming general elections have been barred from incurring election expenses higher than 1 billion naira. And the political headline on Daily Trust is: PDP, NCP differ on new law for presidential primaries. The ruling People's Democratic Party, PDP, and the National Conscience Party, NCP, yesterday differed on the provisions of the amended Electoral Act, which stipulates that presidential candidates of political parties shall emerge from an indirect primary, which will take place separately in each of the 36 states and Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. While the PDP supported it, the NCP rejected it. And in business news, Punch newspaper, we have no excuse for being underdeveloped, Jonathan. President Goodluck Jonathan on Tuesday declared that Nigeria had no excuse for being an underdeveloped economy after 50 years of independence. He stressed that as part of deliberate efforts aimed at tackling these problems, the federal government would partner the Council for the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria on building indigenous capacity in engineering practice. Leadership newspaper, tanker drivers stop fuel supply to Abuja. Nigerian tanker drivers yesterday suspended the supply of petrol to Abuja in protest against the state of the country's roads, especially in and around the nation's capital. This day newspaper has this caption: suspension of fuel supply, FG Nupeng holds hawks. The federal government yesterday met with some members of the National Executive Council (NEC) of the National Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers (NUPENG) in a bid to avert a strike targeted at stopping the lifting and supply of fuel to the nation's capital city, Abuja. And in sports, Daily Trust newspaper, rain disrupts Falconet celebration. Most enthusiastic football fans in Abuja yesterday missed the opportunity to join in celebrating the return of silver-winning Falconet as the heavy downpour, which began shortly after the team's arrival at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, forced the proposed street-to-street procession in honor of the team to be cut short. From the same paper, World Cup reps to begin probe of Nigeria's failure. The House of Representatives Committee on Sports says it will begin an investigation of the dismal failure of the national football team at the 2010 World Cup in South Africa. From the same paper, Siasia reveals plans for Eagles. Former Flying Eagles coach Samson Siasia has revealed his plans to improve the Super Eagles when he finally takes over as coach. Those are the news from our national dailies. I am Rachel Owa. Thanks for logging on.